For a long time, I had a frustrating problem. I could qualify near the front, but as the race went on, I slowly would start falling backward. I wasn't crashing, wasn't making huge mistakes. I was simply using up my tires faster than the drivers around me. It wasn't until I changed the way I practiced that things finally started clicking. Hi everyone, this is Josh from Finding Speed Now. For a while, I had a frustrating problem in ovals and iRacing. I was able to qualify up near the front, but as the race went on, I kept fading backwards. I wasn't crashing, I wasn't making any major mistakes. I simply was just overdriving, and as the race went on, those other drivers were able to pass me. Over the last 6 months, I went from about 2,000 iRating to about 3,000 iRating. And in that, I learned a big lesson. Driving fast over one lap and being fast over an entire run are two completely different skills. Today, I want to show you what changed and how I changed my mindset going into races. So for this race specifically, I knew after previous races that I would be able to qualify, near the front. And it wasn't just my goal to be able to run the fastest lap during the race. That really doesn't even matter to me anymore when it did in the past. I wanted to be able to make sure that I could be able to find the limit of the car and feel what the car is telling me. And something that I've learned is you can kind of use that qualification pace to let you understand how far you can actually push it through the corners. Like know that the car is starting to push or getting too loose on exit, and enables you to know what that minimum speed through the apex of the corner, like right here, that you can actually carry during the race. And for this race, I was able to qualify P2, as you can see here. I ran a 54.350, so I was pretty happy with this result that I've had so far. Today, even before the race starts, I'm already thinking about the long run. A while ago, I probably would have been entirely focused on gaining as many positions as possible, or putting as big of a lead behind P2 as what I could, not realizing that later on they'd be able to pass me and easily be able to put space between them and myself. Now, the opening laps are all about understanding the balance of the car, getting comfortable, and making sure that I'm not asking too much of the tires in the early run. As the green flag is going to be coming out here soon, something that I'm thinking about is being on the outside. I should be able to get a bit of a better run on the leader and not having to push it too hard. And as we come to the green flag here, we will go ahead and show that the leader does in fact kind of push it too hard and end up probably having to lift as he's coming out of the corner, which causes me to be able to make a good run and get past him. As you can see here, I'm focused on making sure that I'm getting close to him as possible to be able to have the arrow get affected when we're on the race start. Here I dropped down and I did put a little bit too much speed, but I was able to lift a little bit and able to still maintain it as I was able to get down to the inside here. I wasn't able to complete the pass completely, but after the entry into turn 2, I was able to get past him and make sure that I was able to keep that lead for most of the race. So this is definitely when my focus shifts from trying to outrun the guy behind me rather than just trying to feel the balance of the car and know that I don't need to run the best lap time in order to be able to stay in front of him. And as you can see here in just a minute, my second lap was my fastest, which was this one. And that entirely changes my focus that what I would have done in the past of hey, I'm going to try to maintain this as much as possible, get as close to that as I can. There is a bit of that to trying to maintain race pace, because in the first few laps, you are trying to run a qualification-ish lap within those first 3 laps or so, but when you're doing that, you're trying to feel the balance of the car and whether it's getting tight or loose. So that's something you want to be able to focus on when you're doing that. So during this race, we had a few different cautions. I wanted to highlight this one specifically because there was a mistake that a driver back here in a blue and silver car made. And at Pocono, you really have to be aware about aero and not overdriving your car when you don't have the air that you would normally. So here, the blue and silver car drove in as if he had the grip that he normally had and slid up and took out that car. There was a car that went in front of him, and then as you see here, the car that went below him. Both of those probably affected his grip and caused him to actually cause this accident. And here, we can go ahead and start talking a little bit about race strategy. I was about 5.5 seconds ahead of second place at this point. I was hoping that I was going to be able to have a good pit stop, be able to come out front, and then just be able to kind of run away. But, you know, things happen, and we overrun the pit stop, or we speed in the pits, those type of things. But that's something you can't really let hinder you and make you overthink things throughout the race. And here, as you see, I overshot the pit stop. I think I killed the car and had to restart it. And so after having a 5.5 second lead, second place even came out of the pits in front of me. So here, in the past, I would have been like, oh, I need to drive fast as possible to be able to finish. We do only have about 12 laps left at this point, so I was able to actually catch up pretty quickly to P2 and get past him. And then I kind of wanted to highlight once I am in front of him and we are trying to catch the leader at that point, how many seconds I was behind and how much time I actually lost during that time. It really wasn't too bad, and luckily, I think the leader just ended up overdriving, because at this point I was 2.5 seconds back with 11 laps to go. You wouldn't think that I would be able to catch him at this point. But being calm and just being able to feel the balance of my car, drive my laps as I want to drive, and just hope that I'm able to catch him. And with 6 to go, I have him in my sights. So here I'm just focused on making sure that I don't overdrive the corners, feel the balance of the car, and making sure that I'm avoiding the aero. So here I cut down to make sure that I'm able to get my full drive off that I'm able to be able to have a bit more grip as I'm coming through the corner, to be able to have a good run. And as I was getting closer to him, it probably took some air off of his spoiler and was why he got under the wall. Which he maybe even thought that, I don't even know why he got in the wall. And as I'm coming here, all I'm thinking is don't overdrive the corner, push up into him and cause a wreck. And then as I saw that car come out of the pits, I kind of realized, I might be able to use him to be able to get past. And so I got to his left rear here to make sure that I was able to drag him back a little bit so that I get a better entry. And then also, knowing that he was going to have to avoid that car there, I made sure to cut down a little bit and was able to complete the pass. Something that I wanted to highlight here with the closing few turns of this race is if you have mistakes in your race, you don't let that affect your decision making for the rest of the race. Go ahead and still execute just like you would, and make sure you don't have any excuses of why you could have finished better. Just do the best that you can. Things happen in a race, and just do the best that you're able to. And here I was able to come across in P1 and get the win here at Pocono. The biggest lesson that I've learned is speed is not something you can force. More often than not, it comes from understanding the car, making the right decisions lap after lap. For me, shifting my focus away from finding the fastest lap to finding race pace, and if I'm able to maintain that pace throughout a race, has been the biggest game changer for me. How do you guys approach practice? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and like and subscribe. We got plenty more content for oval racing here to come. And everyone go ahead and until next time, keep finding speed. And until next time, keep finding speed.